10 seconds.
What's up, everybody? Welcome to The View from the Dead Box. Today we have a pretty special episode. We have the owner and I guess beginner of the entire league of the MVPS, which we talk about quite frequently actually on this.
Yeah, very often. We've played it for a number of years now.
Yeah, Alex Zudell is with us today. So he's in the house. We're going to pick his brain on how events are ran, what goes into starting one, and how much of a headache it is.
Yeah. Only imagine. Give us a quick little background about you, Alex. Like, how long have you been playing paintball?
Yeah, so me, I don't know, I've been in the sport a long time. I started playing in 2005 was like my first World Cup. I want to say, yeah, 05 sounds about right. When it was still at Disney. It was at Disney. I played at Disney 2 years. And then, I switched to Fantasy of Flight and then over at by the Gaylord Palms now. So I've been playing a long time.
Who were you playing with back at the Disney days?
So way back, I don't know if anybody remembers, it was called, I know it was just like the beginner division then, but it was called Rancho Mafia. It was it's a classic team. But
because I played Cup since 02 and all the way up till I only missed a few years here and there. So we played in the cow pastures, which was prior to Disney, and then we got like 3 good years in Disney, and then it went to Fantasy of Flight. But because it was rookie, novice, amateur, and then pro back then is what it was considered.
Yeah, and then actually we played Young Guns. So I don't know if it was the first year of Young Guns there or what. But I guess you're saying it was only at Disney 3 years?
It was something like that, right, Mike? Like 3 or 4. It wasn't there too long.
I don't. I think it was there longer.
03 to 06, something like that. Maybe 03, 04, 05, 06.
I think it was a little longer than that, but I don't really know. I mean, that was before me. I didn't start playing tournaments till 2008, so that was. I believe it was a little longer than that, but I'm not 100% sure.
I'm glad I got to play at Disney like once or twice because everybody talks about that. So I feel like it's like, at least I just barely snuck in there and got to play that. It was cool. I always think back to, I don't know if it was 05 or 06, but like that's when the Lux came out, like the very first Lux. Like you forget how old that gun actually is. It's so popular.
And that was
now.
At Disney on like the very back left row. I remember them sitting outside in a small little booth, and they were like had a dude ripping the bolt apart, and he was like, "I can take the whole gun down and field strip it in like 25 seconds." And
all those tools things. Yeah, right.
Yeah, now it's not toolless. We're all fucking pissed.
Yeah, right.
Jesus. Right. Yeah, I don't know why they had. I was like the Vanquish when it first came out. I know that gun's like been kind of rocky history, but it was like the first gun that had the one Allen key for everything.
Yes.
And then they forgot about it. They're like, nah, that was cool. Let's never do that again.
Yeah.
Disappeared. That was a great
15
idea.
different Allens.
Right.
That is one of my complaints about the Force. I always talk about my fucking air efficiency because it is ass. Yeah. But I am kind of upset with going from my Lux X to that where I have to. It's not toolless. Yeah. Like it kind of bothers me. You can build that good of a gun and not make it toolless. Like really and truly. Like I don't ever say that, but that would be my other knock about. Other than that, I love the gun. Shoots great.
I'm telling you, if they came out, which they say this new F-16 bolt that's coming in the new Luxes is supposed to be God's gift to bolts. But
they're talking big about it.
Yeah, because my whole knock on the X, I praise the X. I switched all my guys to X's last season, and we beat the hell out of them. I praise these guns, but my only knock was it didn't shoot like a Lux. It wasn't as smooth. It wasn't as quiet. It didn't have that puff. It was more, they went to the air efficiency side because a lot of guys wanted to shoot 14 pots of paint on the field, and that's what they wanted. And the gun shot great. It just, when I pick up a Lux, I've been shooting Luxes since the one came out, and that's all I've ever shot. And I came from all the DMs, so I've always came from spool valve guns. I'm used to that that puff, no kick, zero recoil, like super smooth gun. And they went to the X, and it was like kicky. It had the CS2 shot.
Yeah, I feel like
poppy.
They adopted that bolt to some extent. Like
yes,
a big extent.
It's a full redesign. Like 100%, they mobbed that design, and that's fine.
That's what everybody does, though. I mean,
listen, if they should have put a patent on the bolt, right? Don't you know what I mean? That's just how it is.
Yeah, so, I don't fully understand that, like how they're so similar or whatnot, if it was just patent stuff or what. But
yeah, it's a great design. The CS2 is a great gun. So, they're like, well, shit, we'll keep everything we have, the ergonomics, and we'll just take their bolt system that's doing really good. And it works. So they say, speaking with Adrenaline and Yazoo and those guys, they say the new F-16 bolt coming out in the Lux is supposed to be 25 psi lower than what the original the X shot, and it goes back to like a super smooth shot. And if that's true, then that'll, to me, it has all the features the X does, and the shot of like the OLED or ICE, it'll be probably the best gun out to me.
Yeah. I would say, if any of you guys have you been looking at the Adrenaline stuff, the Adrenaline Lux is pretty badass. That's pretty cool.
Yes. We went to at Cup, looked at them, and obviously right before Cup they came with their release. We were looking at them, and I was like, damn. I mean, they were just, I think they were like a month out per gun you order. Everything's custom hand built. So like, but you get a quality product. Like that's
right.
Oh, for sure.
Everything's hand built, polished, everything's hand coated. You know, that's just what you get when you do pay the money for it. But you know, you are getting a lot. You know, I say you pay the money for it, but you know, you got guys with the Twister Go4s. You know,
it's just milling. It's not like the Adrenaline. Like they went the full distance on. They put a lot of thought into it. Did like the internal work with it and all that too.
Yes.
Were you gonna talk shit about people with Twister Go4s?
No, I'm just saying.
Does he have one?
Yes, I do have
one.
He does have one. No, I was gonna say like those guns.
They look fucking great. They look really good.
Yes, you can buy them new for like 14 to 1600 when you can get them. Yeah. And the price literally doubled.
Which is cool. I mean, that's super cool.
Yeah, and the day they came out, they doubled. They're like, people are selling for $3,000, like instantly. Not even like no better than I. They're like, that's crazy. Boom, sold.
I'll say, a buddy of mine, I think they bought 5 in the same day. They bought 3. They might have bought 6. I think they got 4 of the Geos and 2 of the LVs. They just took them all. And they're already doubled. Yeah,
like it's ridiculous. So I said the same thing. If I get an Adrenaline, I'll probably sell the Geo. I just have no need for like 2 $5,000 million guns sitting around not being used. So I'll probably sell one to get the other. But I feel like with the Adrenaline, you know, you get I keep calling it the CVO frame. You get the mech frame. And you get a full barrel kit. So it's kind of like the Adrenaline Shocker, but I never really liked the Shocker. To me, I always, even though the Adrenaline was significantly better than the other one, I always felt it still had that like XLS reliability issue with it, which it didn't. Yeah. But I still always in the back of my mind, I'm like, this bitch is going to go down in the middle of the game. I know it's going to go down. It's going to leave me.
I just know it.
That's funny. So after playing World Cup, then I want to say, did Reese tell me that you also were the president of the UFC team, or is that something I put into my head? At some point?
The UFC team.
The UCF
team. I apologize, guys.
Dude, I do the same thing.
I do it all the time. My cousin, he lives down in Orlando. He'll be like, seriously? I'm like, it's 2 letters. I'm dyslexic. Whatever.
Yeah.
But
no, the college ball stuff is super cool. I love that stuff. And I was the president of the club too.
Okay.
I think just before Reese, pretty much. And then actually my roommate was going to take it over, Casey Cheatham. And I think in a span of like a month or 2, shit hit the fan, and then Reese is like, "Don't worry, guys, I got this." And he swooped in, and he's done a fantastic job. He probably, like, I don't know. There's a lot of the other dudes and myself, like, and the other dudes before me. They started it, and I came in, and I brought it up a significant amount, and then Reese like came in on top of it. Like, I'd probably give Reese the most credit for like really progressing the club. Like, he's done a fantastic job with it, and they like actually like have decent funding from the school and all that kind of stuff, which is cool to see.
Which I hear is a pain in the ass, like to get funding.
It's a lot of work. It's a lot of paperwork. You gotta go in and meet with them, and just it's a pain in the butt. But it's cool to see now. And now they have the funding to actually like do cool stuff. So
it looks like once this COVID stuff kind of kicks, it should be like rolling, because he said that everything's kind of coming into play here. Yeah. So
that's something too. So with the MVPS, this year the national championships for college got canceled, but the year before that, the MVPS hosted them. Like we hosted the infrastructure for it. So, it was all my material, and then Chris Rail in the league put it on. So I was just talking to him. I don't know. I guess it was probably Monday of this week, and he gave me a couple date options for April. That he's working on it, getting the college national championships to happen again. So it'd be the same thing. I'll probably help run it. Probably in Orlando, like Austin Tyndall area.
Yeah.
So
because where is UCF out of? It's like Orlando, Tampa. It's like right there, right?
Orlando.
Yeah,
Solid Orlando. Mm-hmm.
So so this is kind of just like an offshoot. So at the MVPS, how did you decide to do it at like Austin Tyndall? Because I love it when it's there.
It's a great venue.
Yeah.
It's pretty much the best venue for it. Like the park people are super cool. Like they're really nice people. The manager, his name is Jeff Kinsley, super nice dude. And they like appreciate paintball. And a big part of for me too is when I go to these outside parks is I make sure I bust ass to just clean up afterwards and make paintball look good in the eye of everybody. So
which is a job in itself.
Yeah, because we are messy.
Cleaning up afterwards,
right?
It's terrible. It really is. It's terrible.
But the way it started was actually back when the MILP was around. You guys probably played some of those being up in Georgia and stuff. And I was kind of partnered with them before they disappeared or whatever happened with them. But he did at least one or two over at Austin Tyndall. So he kind of broke the ground there and got the foot in the door. So I give him some credit.
Yeah.
And then we kind of followed through because we're, obviously more local to Florida than they are. So we just kind of continued it and built a good relationship with them. And that's how we got in.
That's awesome. I've always was curious because the first time I went there was 2 or 3 years ago, I guess. I'm not exactly sure. And I was like, oh, I like it here. This is really good.
It's a cool spot. And just coincidentally, like it works great for me. Like I do just like my rental stuff I use a lot of, like the generator rental place is 15 minutes down the road. The place I get pretty much all my airline from is like a half hour away. Honestly, I live in Orlando too, so I live close by.
Yeah.
So there's there's for me personally in the league, like the infrastructure is built around it. And the airport is like 10 minutes away, 15 minutes. So it's just a super good location.
Yeah, for me too. I got my cousin. He lives literally right by the airport, and I'm like, oh, this is awesome. I got a free place to stay.
Yeah, exactly.
It works out. We've always had. You guys had it. I think you guys the very first year we played MVPS. You guys bounced around a little bit. I think you did Jacksonville once. Kissimmee. I think you did Orlando.
Yeah.
I don't think you did one in Tampa. No, I don't think you did one in Tampa.
No, they did one in Tampa.
We have, but it's been.
Had to be at least 2 years.
It was like 2 years ago. Yeah, we did St. Pete. St. Pete was our finale.
Yeah,
St. Pete. Yes, it was.
Because that's when you and your brother played together.
I think
that was
so,
St. Pete. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
St.
Pete was cool.
We're really pissed off because the very first event we were ever supposed to play, like 2 or 3 years ago, was it was a last minute, right? And then I was like, oh shit, there's a Daytona event coming up. I'm like, this thing looks badass, and it was like a month and a half out or 2 months out, and I was literally gathering people. I'm like, hey, listen, it's in the middle of the series, but it's going to be a badass location. It looks really cool, and they had some videos on YouTube from like the year prior, and it looked like it was right off the beach. Like it looked badass. I'm like, dude, this is awesome. It was cool. It sold out in like a day, I think.
Oh yeah.
It sold out.
Because it was a little smaller. We could only fit 2.5 fields in the location. Like I had to do a little half field for 3-man, and not everybody was most excited about that. But that was the only way to make that venue work. But that was almost like my Huntington Beach right there. Like that's
why we wanted to play it.
That was such a cool venue, and we've already outgrown it because we're doing 4 fields. We can't fit back there, but we were, like 100 feet from the water, and you could just walk over there.
That is wild.
That's badass.
It was literally on an island. Like it was like City Island. It was a park there at the time. A super cool spot.
Yeah, it looks kind of like what's the damn? Not Coney Island, but it's like where you have the boardwalk and like all the venues like right there, and then you look to your left and it's like sand, water, and like Myrtle Beach. Like Myrtle Beach has a strip with all like the boardwalks and stuff right there, and then you could just put a field like on the beach if you wanted to. Right. It's almost how it is. And I told the guy, I'm like, all right. So the next year it came up. I'm like, hey, listen, as soon as the event opens up, we're gonna get into it. Like, all right, cool. We had all our shit ready, and I think you guys either had an issue with the venue, and then that event got canceled or pushed. It was like about a year and a half, almost 2 years ago. It got pushed. I'm like, fuck. I'm like, there went that. I'm like, and then you guys moved it to Tyndall like 2 or 3 times.
Yeah,
we never played Tyndall prior to that.
Yeah. So I remember the last time. Okay. Yeah, I was gonna say the last time it was supposed to be in Daytona. It was probably 2 years ago, maybe even further. And it was like the city official I had a relationship with. I think they either got fired or they just quit their job and they just pieced out. And that was my only connection with the city. I mean, I had a contract in writing. Everything was lined up. And then they left and that relationship got broken. And the city was just like, we don't care anymore. And it was too late to kind of redo the process. So
Damn, that sucks.
I had to cancel it. It was super awkward. Like I I don't see how that happens.
Yeah. So what made you want to like start your own series? Like, or how much of this did you like start of your own, you know what I mean? Like, full on endeavor yourself or?
Yeah, so I sent the one picture where it was me and John Cow in the photo. So John Cow was, I'll give him credit, he's like the official starter. I think he had like one event. It was in Gainesville at First Strike Paintball. It was just a 3-man. And then I did the scorekeeping for him. Like we were good friends at the time and still are. And I've always wanted to start a league even before that. I just thought it'd be super cool. So after that one event, we talked. We're like, yeah, let's just do this thing together. It'll be easier working together. And we kind of went from there. So it's basically, I was in there from the start.
That's awesome.
Now John Cal's the guy that we were talking about that played with Gridiron, right?
Yeah,
still does. And then
still does.
It was funny because
he messaged all of us years. This is maybe, I don't know when exactly, 2013.
Like it had to be like 2012 or something like that.
Yeah, it was early.
We played him at Zach's Field in Jacksonville. We scrimmaged against Gainesville, and we got a message. He was talking about a message he got, and then I went and looked, and it must have went to my others, so we weren't friends.
Oh yeah.
And he must have went through like the MILP and the CFPS rosters or something, and just messaged everybody about coming to this event and playing.
Yeah.
But it must have been like the very first like start up of an event. And then he's like, dude, I got this message from the guy we just played today, but it's like from 2013. I'm like, what?
Yeah, those messages like disappear on Facebook Messenger. If you're not friends, you have to like really search that.
Yeah. Because I got it from, it was John, and he had sent it to me, and I had talked to him a little bit about it back in the day. And then I had got another message from Chris Dockery, and he had sent it. And that's when I re-noticed it, and I was like, oh, and that's your buddy, Wes. But
yeah.
So that's how all that went through. And I was like, that's really weird. And then I thought he had something to do with the MVPS, but I wasn't 100% sure because it was so long ago at this point. But,
yeah.
But I played with him at Will's quite a few times back.
Okay.
Yeah, Will's Speedway. Yeah, we hosted, I think, just one event there way back.
Yeah, Will has always been very nice to us when we go.
Yeah, he's a nice dude. I haven't seen him I usually see him like once a year at World Cup, if anything, because I'm just not up in Jacksonville, but he's always been super cool.
Yeah,
I think they just turfed his field like 6 months ago. I think he just finished it up.
Yeah. Have you been around there to see the turf in person at all?
We honestly have been working to get our field turf for like.
Yeah, I saw that too. How's that going? Is it not done yet?
Just got finished.
Hell.
Oh yeah,
dude. Yeah, our field really supports us and takes care of us, but we had to do the grunt work, which is fine. They got it leveled for us, and then I brought out some tractors, and they bought the turf, NFL turf. And which is a lot heavier than I thought.
Right? People don't realize that shit is heavy.
Yes. I used turf before at other places, and it's like thin, like carpet from a Home Depot.
Like indoor turf or something. Maybe.
Yes.
Yeah.
This is like 2-inch thick with the full rubber infill stuff. So you can like dive on it. It's like, oh, I don't hurt.
Yeah, right.
But
yeah, that's nice. At least they're doing it the right way.
Yeah,
that's good.
It's Jacksonville Jaguars turf from their field.
Really?
And there was like how many? Like 70 rolls? 80
oh my God, so much.
For a whole field and more. I'm like, Jesus, dude. And we got everybody out there, like 25 people, and we like laid it. We got everything like trued up in the regulation and runoffs and everything, and we just got it finished. Probably, I don't know what 2 months ago. Probably.
Yeah, probably. Last thing we probably need to go back and grit it and put some whiskers in, and then it'll be done. But other than that,
all we have left to get down there is move the other air station down to the field. It's there. It's purchased. Right now we have like about 100-yard walk back up to the pro shop to get air. So we already have a new air station set up, and they're going to put it in a 20-foot cargo container. That's all there. They just have to move it down to the field, and they're going to build the pit areas for us. So once that's done, then we can actually say field's open and quote unquote ready for business. Right now we're kind of just running it ourselves for personal business wise, like for teams to come in and scrimmage. But but it has taken like five weeks of straight labor. And this is with like 15 players like busting their ass.
First we thought we could do it in a weekend, and we thought we were gonna manhandle it. And what did we do? We dragged one strip down there. Like I say, a strip. We did like 100-yard strip. It was like one like lay down. We were
that was divided like seven pieces of like 20 foot a piece, and we're like, we got 20 people, we'll be good. It would take all 20 people to drag it flat out across the dirt. I'm like, we literally busted out for like 6 hours and had like a strip and a half, like a full row and a half, and I'm like, okay, I'll go get a tractor and bring it out here. Like, we're not doing this ever again.
Yeah, it was insane. That I will never fucking lay turf again. If I gotta play a paintball field, I quit. I just won't play anymore if I gotta play turf somewhere ever again.
I think the only time I've really messed with turf was the last event I did up at Zaxfield in Jacksonville at Bayside. And we had a little bit of turf. I think we turfed like the pits for one of the fields and stuff just to cover up some dirt, make it look nice. Because he has some turf that he's gonna turf a field with. He hasn't done it yet. He's even talking about maybe like turfing a mountains field or just doing something wild.
Yeah.
But we had to drag it with a bobcat. It was
that's literally what I went and got a Komatsu and brought it out there. I'm like, okay, like I'm done messing with this. We'll be done. We'll just like it's ridiculous.
There's rumors we're supposed to have a mountains field too, correct? Or is that you think that's been nixed? Wes, do you know? Have you heard anything else about
Say it again.
Aren't we supposed to be getting a mounds field also, or do you think that's
they're talking about doing the the mech thing where it's going to be in a hyperball field and the woods and a mounds. They're gonna have all three set up out there. That's future plans, obviously.
Yeah.
But I think now they're seeing how much activity we're drawing in, which is very weird for speedball field to be drawing in people because you own Tiki's, right? Didn't you guys?
Yeah, Tiki's paintball in Tampa.
Yeah, so and that's a whole field. You guys got airball, hypeball, and mounds, right?
Yeah, we got those three. It's like some like wood, city field stuff.
Okay,
that's awesome.
Yeah, so you know, as a field owner, like typically, it's probably a little different than you because you guys have a lot more speedball players down there. But usually the money comes from like rentals and
the rental parties, and birthday parties players, and stuff.
Yeah, super players, and I've said this before in the podcast, we cry, we complain. Like, if you charge us too much for paint, we like complain about it. If the paint doesn't shoot perfect, we complain about it. Like if the field isn't absolutely mirrored, we complain about it.
Right.
You could literally give like a rec baller, like Diablo rec sport from like 8 years ago, and a tip 98 that he has to cock every time to shoot it.
Like hell yeah.
They're like, oh my god, $500 to play today? Sweet, no big deal.
Badass.
This shit's badass.
Yeah. They have a blast. So now we're getting a lot more speedball guys to come in and kind of rotate in. And I think now it's starting to draw a lot more attention. They're like, we might do another speedball field. I'm like, oh shit. Like,
especially if you got that turf, that's a big draw. That's something I've looked into doing, and it's just really expensive. Like I found a couple places where I could even find the material for free in a sense, but just to ship it because it weighs so much, it'd be a couple semi trucks worth. It's just not.
It was three semi trucks worth is what the
that's basically what I was looking at. I was looking at 3 semis worth, but it was coming from like Texas. That's the freight on that was ridiculous. So I'm just not a chance.
At first, the guy who runs ProShar, Mike something or rep, was gonna ship it from England over and then take care of it, but the shipping was like $4,000. I'm like, whoa! Like,
but we knew where turf was.
$4,000.
Yeah,
you could buy a brand new NXL field for that. I'm like, Jesus, dude. So tell us a little bit about Tiki's. How long you guys been open?
So Tiki's, we did our I want to say it was our soft opening, our grand opening, but it was like June around then. So it's just been open for about 6 months, and it's been super cool. Like it's been going well. I mean, it's been a 3-year plus project. Like it was a lot of labor intensive because before it was it was like a farm. And then it went through a couple phases. The property owners, and the last one before us, it was a sand and gravel borrow pit. So they came in, they stripped all the land. They dug down about 15 to 20 feet over there. It's about 40-acre property. And they took all that sand, and it was for the I-4 project. So they just stripped it all and made out. But now, once we took over, we did a lot of grading, and we flattened out some areas and then left some of the hilly parts, which was cool, for the rec ball side of things. And kind of turned it into the paintball field. So like the view is super cool because it's just a free bowl. Like everybody plays down in the bowl, and all the spectators are up top and can watch down. So that's a cool part of it.
Yeah, that's neat. Are you gonna, if you can't say this, don't say it. Are you gonna host any of your MVPSs there, you think, or is it not big enough for that? Or
yeah, so right now we got 2 speedball fields, and I'm planning on like February. We're kind of waiting for the dry season just for it to fully dry up. We're gonna dig out our pond even deeper. It's kind of like a drainage pond. We're gonna dig it even deeper so it just really contains all the water out there. And then I'm hoping to add another 3 speedball fields.
Oh, nice.
And so that should be done like March by April or so at the latest. So then I'm thinking there's a chance like our last event of the year, I can
Last
do an
event,
MVPS
okay.
out
Oh, that'd
there.
be cool. That's
So
awesome.
I might leave it open just kind of as a flex. If not, it'll probably be like Austin Tyndall.
Yeah, that's awesome.
So going back to the MVPS,
Yeah.
you guys and I know the numbers are probably close, but you guys have to be either the biggest or second or third for like regional events wise, right? You guys are we gotta be
Yeah.
up there. I think maybe the only people close to you are maybe WCPPL. MXL is good, but it doesn't have y'all's draw, I don't think. USXBL is decent as well, but I still don't think it gets the draw that maybe MVPS does.
Yeah. Yeah. So most of the regional leagues are getting like 70 to 80 teams on average. And we've been doing a little bit better getting them, like 80 and up to like almost 100 teams. Just kind of counting on a team basis. So like we've had a couple events that if you just look at like team count, like bigger than some of the Millennium events and stuff over in Europe. So it's pretty good.
That's awesome.
Which is a great draw because I know before you guys were around, I used to play the CFPS, which was out of CFP, obviously.
Yeah.
And they were a pretty big event for what was around, that time. And so all we played was the MILP and the CFPS.
Yeah.
And then I think you guys basically are kind of the same general location the CFPS was. So I'm assuming people who were playing there before were like, it's the same location. It's they just switch hands almost.
Yeah.
And you guys have y'all been running, but I think what do you think are the three things for somebody who might be looking at starting a series? What are the three things that you think are that you didn't know starting and that you know now that are like you would maybe have done different starting out?
Don't do it. I'm just kidding.
Yeah, right. Don't do it.
I know it seems like a massive fucking headache to me.
Yeah.
Yeah. So like it's a lot. I don't know. Number one, you just got to be really passionate about the sport. Like, luckily I love paintball, and that's why like it helps just going from MVPS into the Tiki Field and whatnot. But like you definitely gotta like paintball a lot. You can't just look at it like a business opportunity. Like this will work out because it takes a lot of work. Like I'd put a ridiculous amount of hours into MVPS just planning and just going to event to event. But looking at things I do differently. I don't know off the top of my head. I feel like we've started so small and slowly grown. I feel like we've done a pretty good job on it. I don't really have that many regrets in a sense with the league. And it was cool. Like, we just started we did 2 seasons, or it was like a year and a half of 3-man, then went to 5-man, and then finally making the jump to X ball. And that was all just a single field events. And then, we went to 2 fields or 3 fields. So we've just made sure we just grew really slowly and like try to do those more of the like focus on the selling out of an event than just anybody that signs up you can jump in and play, because we're not going to do a good enough job of it if we just let everybody jump in, because it's hard enough. Really 4 fields is kind of getting to that limit of getting experienced staff and stuff like that. It just starts to stretch out. You're just having just really good referees and staff and scorekeepers that can handle that, at least like in the area, like NXL and the National League, they got a bigger reach and a bigger pool for the referee staff in that. But just keeping it regional, you can only get so many people that want to do that job or, do it well at least.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So they definitely don't want guys that are in there and feel like they have to be there, because then you just don't get a quality job. Like, I feel like a lot of events, and I've talked about this before about the MVPS, we typically bump into the same refs that we have that ref us at the SPL. They said his name. I always forget his damn name. I know his name's Phil. He's the head ref.
Yeah, Phil Morgan.
Yes, and they always have he has the same like 6 to 8 guys that he rolls with, and I've seen people complain, about his reffing, and they're like, I'll never go back to the MVPS, or I'll never go to the SPL. I'm like, this dude, these same refs ref the NXL, they ref the SPL, they ref the MVPS. Like, I've seen him everywhere. I'm like, so it's not like they're randomly picking these dudes off the street. Like, these are qualified refs. So
yeah, I think a big part of that with the reffing side of things is kind of how we handle things off field that helps kind of back up the refs in a sense. Like, because I could see, people say that. I don't know, and we get that at our league too, but I feel like it happens, more at other leagues and stuff. But we have a lot more off-field presence to kind of ease people over and explain the rules to them. But I feel like it's a lot of part of the frustration of players and they get upset at the refs because a lot of them just don't fully understand the rule book because it's a lot to it, you know.
A lot more than people see.
So, yeah.
And I will say when our very first X Ball event together 3 years ago, I think it was. I played the 5-man with my wife the day prior, and we won that day. And then we came back and played the X Ball with some guys who've never played X Ball ever before, and they weren't used to like the penalties, or not penalties in a sense, but like the timeouts and like how fast paced it was.
Yeah.
Well, we were playing against a team, and we had like an issue, I think, with them starting a body down, and one of my guys didn't really understand if they were starting a body down. They came on 5, and then Reese at the time, I didn't really know Reese too well, but he was kind of like the middleman. So he kind of walked up, grabbed the head ref, explained to it off the field, explained to it, and I was in the pit at the time, explained it to me, and was like, all right, this is what happens, this is this is how it's gonna work. And I was like, okay, cool, like, you know, and then everybody's level head, boom, he walks off, game back on, no problem. And I think a lot of places I've been to, like you said, don't really handle it that way. They're kind of like, hey, this is the call, sorry. Game on, 10 seconds.
Yeah,
like, you know,
yeah, 10 seconds, get on the field.
yeah. So I think that, handling a lot more professionally, I think, is probably what separates good leagues and bad leagues.
I guess a big thing I relate it to with the referees, it's like they're the waiters at a restaurant. Like, it doesn't matter how good that meal is you just had. If the waiter is a jackass, like, you're never going back to that place for sure.
Yeah.
So the referees, like, it's tough too, because providing that customer service experience is, they got to be fair and just and throw penalties, obviously. But then they're throwing those penalties on the customers. So we got to be nice about it. We can't just throw it and tell them you get the F out of there. Like, they got to throw the penalty justly and then explain it and, you know, do it as nice as they can.
That's funny.
It's tough. It's a tough job. Being a ref is tough.
I've always said that. I've refed a few events, big events, forever ago, and I told them, we had Reese on like a month or two ago, and I told him I would never ref like a big event again. I'm like, all eyes are on you. You're either the asshole or the hero.
Right. You got a lot of eyes on you. Like, you think you got a lot of eyes on you playing. Well, even more eyes if you're reffing, for sure.
Oh yeah. I've never refed a big tournament. I've refed a couple of big games before, and even those were ridiculous. I'm like, this is not
at least in the big games you can go hide like in a tree.
Yeah, but not when the fieldo, when Billy sends me out to go looking for who brought outside paint, and he was literally walk up to every player you see, stick your hand in their loader and pull the paint out, and I'm like, you want me to do what? Like, I can't go grab these people's guns. Yeah. So I was just like, someone got away with paint. I don't really care that bad.
Right. So X-Ball is definitely coming around. And with organizations that have 3, 4, 5, 6 lines, bigger lines, you guys have 5-man, but it's typically only for D5. But your D5 is a little bit modified, correct?
Yeah.
Your D5 5-man allows 2 D4 players or 1 D3 player.
So 2 D4 players, but no D3.
Okay.
And it's kind of just to merge that D5, because most leagues, they do the D4 5-man also.
Yeah.
And I kind of just simplified it and just did 1 division per format just to make it simpler. And I think the progression kind of works out, because you got 3-man beginner, you learn the sport, then you jump into 5-man. Now you're playing the same format as 3-man, but it's 5-on-5. So you're getting a little closer to X-Ball. And then you kind of jump into X-Ball and you go with it from there.
Yeah.
Because I like X-Ball. I think X-Ball is the way to go. Split deck is kind of whatever. I'm iffy on that, but at least like X-Ball is definitely the way to go.
Yeah, I hated the original 5-man, how it was round robin, or you played 8 teams one time, 35 minutes in between each, like 40 minutes. Sometimes you'd be there all day. I'm like, Jesus. Now split deck, I don't mind playing 5-man when it's split deck, because you're typically every 40 minutes you play, and you can play three matches, or sorry, 3 points. So it's okay. So I kind of like how the NXL does the 5-man. You play your points somewhat fast during the first day, and the second day it's all best 2 out of 3. So split deck, so it's okay. But the old 5-man is definitely, in some places still do it. I think it's obsolete at this point. So and that's I do like y'all's D5 5-man, because sometimes maybe we don't have a spot for a guy for our Expo line. It's too full. We have 10 people on a roster, and we can put a D5 line in, and we can cycle an extra body or 2 over there from the D4 line, that maybe, or even teams walking on that have 2 D4 guys and a bunch of D5 guys, which happens all the time. Because
Oh,
you go to a new field and like you might be the D4 kid in town. You go to a field and they're all D5 guys except like you and one dude. And you're like, well, we can go play here because not a lot of places really offer what you call it, a 5-man that you can do that. I don't think anybody actually does. So it's
hard to
a
play
lot
with
better
your friends.
to
It's hard to play with your friends. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like it can restrict you a little bit.
So and I know Florida, you guys probably, I know we've always argued about this. That middle to South Florida, I think has, and it's hard to say this, probably the best talent pool of players, like Florida in general. I know they always say California and Texas, but I feel like California and Texas only has a couple good teams. Like there's a lot of people.
You're an ass.
There's a lot. I mean, honestly, like think about it. I mean, all right. So
I mean, I agree
Cup,
with you, but
and listen, at Cup every year, I find myself playing the same fucking people that I play all season. And when they go to the finals or like top 16, like I see nothing but my Facebook for the next month of blowing up. Man, we're so close. We took 6th place, and we're so close. We took 8th place. So all these dudes that I know that play for different teams are all like top 10 teams in the NXL. And you know, California has 1 billion people. You know, compared to what Florida and everybody has to
Yeah,
pull.
sure, it is gigantic. Yeah.
So if you can take off.
Yeah. I was gonna say, I feel like they definitely get more attention just because they have so many pro teams over there too.
Yes.
You know, Florida just has, I mean, just the Southeast where we got Damage, and I don't know, is that it for pro teams?
I mean, yeah,
ML
basically.
Kings, but
they're a European
they're-
team. They're a European team.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
that's true. Their home practice area is Florida, so I'll give them that. But really, I mean, Texas has what 3+ pro teams. California has even more.
And the camps are crazy. You know, like PB Fit and X Factor Park.
Yeah, so
those are big places. They're up there. Yeah, and I've played at PB Fit when I flew in for Dallas to play there.
Oh yeah,
and there was like shit, man.
You brag about this all the time. I'm really
It
jealous.
has to be at least 6, like I think like 4 turfed fields, and then like 2 or 3 other fields.
Yeah,
It's
cool.
ridiculous. But so they can have multiple pro teams, semi-pro teams, D2, D3, and they never really bother each other because they're so big. So you got to look at what they're drawing from compared to what Florida and Georgia is drawing from. But at the end of the events, it's typically Southeast teams. Not saying that the other guys don't finish well, but per capita,
Oh, look at you getting all scientific.
per capita, the people and
man of
the
science.
Southeast
Yeah.
have way less people to pull from, and they do a lot better if you just randomly were to take 1,000 people, you know, and spot to spot. I
It's a
think
good thing all our viewers are from Florida, so we could really stroke
They're
everybody
all
off.
like, yeah,
real
we
good.
agree with this
Yeah,
guy, man.
fuck,
This West
yeah.
Coast, what we're talking about. I'd like
It
to
is.
think Florida paintball is the best paintball. I know you guys aren't technically in Florida, but
But
you
I
guys
would
are
agree
close,
with you. I mean,
Southeast, baby.
Well, it's Florida or Atlanta for us. That's really all we have. And
Yeah.
Atlanta has kind of died. It's still
Oh,
there.
yeah.
There's some teams there, but it's definitely not what it was. 10 years ago, it was like Atlanta was the Kings. Like that's where it was, you know, it was popping in Atlanta. Now it's kind of dead. There's mech ball there, really good mech ball. And that's really about it. There's not too many big teams in Atlanta anymore. They're all kind of gone.
Yeah.
So they all play for like Crisis. What's the other teams in Southeast, Mike?
Tantrum.
Tantrum. I'm saying, but
They pull a
big
lot of
camps,
guys.
like big camps are all like more South Carolina, like NRG, but that's like starting
Yeah,
north.
that's way
Further
up there,
yeah,
though.
right.
Yeah, so
I'm
I've
really
always
to
looked
see.
at that with MVPS in the league is, you know, I've wanted to kind of stretch out of Florida a little bit. Really, that the Georgia Alabama border right there just kind of keeps me in the state. You know,
Yeah.
like,
there. What event did I play when I was living in Destin? It had to be
Probably
Milk.
MIP,
Had to be
yeah.
Milk or something like that. They hosted in a park right on like Sandestin or Destin, like in a paintball park. Sorry, it wasn't a paintball park. It's like Tyndall, right? And it was huge, like a big soccer place, but it was right on the water. You can see the water from there, and it was a badass event. And it had to be Milp at the time, but that was what it drew. It drew like the far Florida, like Panhandle guys. It drew like the guys up from Orlando. It brought the guys from Georgia and Alabama. It had a pretty good pull to it.
yeah.
But I think the event we won in Jacksonville is the same way. I mean, you're right there on the border. You can pull South Carolina's 3.5 hours. Like you can pull teams from there. Atlanta is 4.5 hours, 5 hours.
Right.
So it's not really a bad drive to Jacksonville from, you know, from you, and from you guys it's like 2.5. So it's not terrible from you guys, So I'm not sure how many teams you guys get from the Miami area, but it's like 5.5 or 6 from them. So
yeah, it's a true. This thing is sucks. Like, and the Miami guys are used to driving, which kind of works out. I feel like the most spoiled people are all the Tampa teams.
Yeah, because they have 18 fields there.
Yeah, they got so many teams and fields right there, and them just to drive to like Austin Tyndall, just like, oh, this hour drive is brutal. Like, give me a break, man.
Oh man,
we literally play as many events as we can, and we don't drive. I remember texting you a while back, like trying to push you back into like Jacksonville. Like, well, it might not work out this time, but because we drive 4 hours, like our closest event. That's it. That's like tough. We're 4 to 6 hours. That's where we are.
That's commitment right there. That's
commitment. But we can't. It's not our choice. I would much rather drive 35 minutes to a field. Like when Reese gets to wake up and like walk to a World Cup. It's like,
right?
He's talking shit. We're all like renting houses.
Yeah, I got to sleep in my own bed for World Cup. It's fantastic.
Yeah.
He's like, I'm going to cook some dinner, breakfast for the old lady, and I'll see you guys at the field about 10. I'm like, you're a dick. I'm
right.
Like, I'm like, Jesus.
That's funny.
Well, that's how it is,
It's even like that for our practice, though. It takes me 40 minutes to get to Hoppers. Like, or maybe even 45. And I'm like, oh, man, the other field before it closed down was 20. And I got used to 20. And then, like, Wes's dad's field when I played there was like 8 minutes from the house. I'm like, this is
definitely
great.
yeah, you get spoiled quick with that.
Oh, yeah.
I was like I'm going to live in Orlando, and usually I'd go out to CFP to practice like an hour, 15 minutes. And then to the Tiki's field, it's like an extra 15 minutes, like an hour and a half. But now I've got my dad lives in New Hampshire, and he bought a camper, kind of going like snowbird status in the winter. And he parked it at the Tiki's field. So I just sleep in that thing, and I wake up, just walk out the door, and it's like, boom, I'm at work. I can go play. I can work right there. So I'm super spoiled in that. Like that drive time is killer.
That was something else I was going to ask you. How much playing do you still get to do? Like, being an owner and an event owner, field owner, event owner. I mean, that's a lot. I mean, and paintball's great. So it's like, I mean, I know you want to play, but.
Yeah, that was one of the funniest things. So when me and John Cowell parted ways with the MVPS, it was like the next season, he just jumped in and started playing. Like he got the dream right there.
Yeah.
So I definitely don't get to play any of those. I still play all the NXLs as much as I can. And I played Vegas and Cup this year. That's all they could do.
Yeah.
So I'll still play those. And I definitely don't get practice as much as I'd like to still, but I still try to be competitive. I feel like it just helps playing those events and, just playing the game and, working, just getting all sides of it. Just
it wouldn't matter. Like you can't play MVPS because even if you play 100% fair,
that'd be terrible.
Yeah, you can you can not even get shot and walk off. Like just call yourself out every point. They're gonna call you a cheater. Like it doesn't matter. So
it kills me. I mean, even like the last event I held, most event, like somebody preaches the bias stuff. They get upset about something, and it kills me because I try, like, I'm so honest in that side of things. Like, I just, like, do not mess with, teams, winning that stuff. And also, I don't care who wins those events. Like, I don't get any, but it's not like somebody's paying me off on the side, being like, here's $20, let me get that first place. Like no, nobody's doing that kind of stuff. It kills me. So I definitely could never play one just for that.
Oh
yeah. It would ruin your day. Like
and hop up on first place podium, like just won my own league.
Series champs, baby.
Yeah.
You'd be the head banner of the paintball standard. Like
be
memes instantly. You'd be done.
Yeah, I did crush.
That is funny.
So I know I seen a new logo for MVPS.
Yeah.
Talk a little bit about that new logo.
The Velocity division. All right, so we've been thinking about this for a while, of just at least like the last couple of years of trying to have that premier division in a sense. So we're basically just kind of revamping our Division 2. We did D2 for the first time this last year and a little bit of the year before. I'm kind of blanking. But the way we're doing it now is, all the teams, it's still a Division 2 event. Like, no matter what you play or who's in there, you only get D2 points for playing it. So you're not going to get ranked up extra high. But now it's for the first time we're letting pros play. So one pro per team can get in the mix. And the kind of creative side that we're doing to let people kind of tweak their rosters and figure out how they got to do it is you get 13,000 points for your top 5 players. So you just kind of do the math on their PB league points. And like, so I did the math. One of my buddies is Mikey Waring. You know, he's at, I think, like 7,500 points. So you just take the 13,000, pull up my calculator here, 13,000 minus the 7,500. So you got 5,500 points to play with the other top 4 highest ranked players. And it's pretty easy. On 5,500 points, the rest of that roster is easily still D2. You know, you could do a mix of, you know, he's a higher ranked, you know, pro player. You could have a lower ranked pro and fit like a D1 guy in there instead of D2. If you have no pros, you can probably have 3 D1 guys on there and the rest all D2. And you could even it out by having, you know, a really high pro and like some D3 guys if you wanted to.
It's like building a daily fantasy football.
Yep.
Like,
yeah, exactly.
I mean,
that's cool.
You get like salary cap, and you build the team off a salary.
Exactly.
Cap.
Yeah. So you can be real technical with the points. You know, figure out if you can mix this, and this, and I can get this badass player, but then I got slip in a D3 guy. You know, however you want to do it. But then at the end of the day, you still get D2 points. So you're not going to screw up your ranking. And then the other bonus too, like if we don't have, you know, it's the same with any of the divisions. If you don't have 10 teams, you get, you know, even less points.
Yeah.
Or it's like a multiplier.
Yeah. That is awesome.
So
I like it.
That's the big part of that.
Yeah. Well, you guys have, I mean, and I said it kind of goes back earlier, you probably have a lot of guys down there that physically can't play like the event, right? It's a big event and they want to play because all the, you know, the older semi-pro guys and pro guys who are obviously still really good, who can't play because they're fucked on rank. Like they just can't. Yeah. And they just stand around and just like, you know, help people out. I'm sure that gets tiring. But now they have a spot they can fill on and
exactly. They got a home they can play at. That's the big thing. I got a chunk of my buddies and they're just like we really want to play, we want to do something. I was like, I'm working on it. Finally last year we built that decent following. You know, we had 7 to 5 teams, you know, all season for D2 last year. So it's kind of those players are getting ranked up enough where they're not going to have anything to do eventually. So I think, you know, doing this division, and then I'm going to try to tweak the entry and the prize structure and that kind of stuff to make it worthwhile for everybody too.
Okay,
that's awesome. I like it. I think it's a good idea.
Ingenuity. Thanks. I like it.
Yeah, I'm trying to do something. Like I've been wanting to let those dudes play for a while, and I think it'll work out too because you got like, you know, the local guys. There's the damage guys. There's, you know, any of those D1 teams. I know there's like Ralph Boys down south. There's like the D1 Jits guys now. There's the TNB guys are getting up there now. Like the ML King guys. Like there's a player base for it for sure. So they'll slip in there and they'll start building some fun rosters.
They might pull some of the. I'm not sure if Prime is still around or not, but some of those guys were the same. You know, they kind of got outranked for where they were playing and they could only play in XLs.
Yeah, exactly. So, then you get burnt out and that sucks. So you want to play with your friends, and now I'm, you know, hoping to let people get back to that.
Yeah, it kind of goes back to what I said too about lets people still play with their friends too. I mean, you could, you know what I mean? Like, build your own league and I might not want to play with this so and so in 10 years because he's a pro or whatever. But hey, now I can finally play with all my boys again.
Yeah, right.
I don't know. I really like it. But all right, Wes, you want to work our way into these 10 questions? Did you see? Yeah, these are we say rapid fire in quotes. Are you going to use the most recent one I sent you? Because you did a couple iterations today.
Oh, hold on. Whoa.
Read it. I sent you this at 4:30. You never answered me, so make sure it's...
I was probably in a game of Warzone. All right, so...
Yeah. You doing autumn, I'm doing even, or are we going to change it up?
Let me see. It don't matter. Whatever you want to do, I'll just play off you.
I'll do the odds this time. So I'll start it off. All right. So go ahead and answer these as fast as you can, but it's...
I'm gonna try.
Yeah, apparently, you know what I mean?
Probably don't have to try that hard, but I'll try.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, I don't think anybody's really done it fast, but maybe one person. And I don't think they did it fast their first time on. I think they did it fast the second time we had them on.
All right.
But all right. So, who's your favorite professional paintball player currently?
Oh, currently? I was gonna just throw out like Ollie Lang right there. I was gonna like Ollie Lang's the man. Yeah. But currently, damn. I'm going to go with my boy Ricky Smith right now.
Okay.
Ricky Smith, he played with TMG Outlaws. He got a point in at Cup. You know, he's coming for the top.
I like it.
What is the best adult beverage?
Ooh, the best adult beverage? I mean, go with beer, but I don't know. I've been drinking a lot of Basil Hayden lately. Like bourbons. I'm a bourbon man. Bourbon. Like old fashions, about old fashions.
Okay.
I like it. What's your favorite team?
For what sport? Just anything?
Paintball. Well, I mean,
Paintball?
whatever you want. Yeah, we'll do paintball. Since
I'll say anything would be the Green Bay Packers right there. Listen,
Okay.
man, you can barely see them. But team, damn, I don't know. Team, I guess I'm gonna try to go with pro teams. I mean, still like a Damage fan, I guess. He's the hometown team.
Yeah, I like it.
Now I would say this, and it might be unbiased now, but mech or X-Ball.
Ooh.
Yeah, see, I know you've been playing a lot of 10-man
stuff, right? The 10-man stuff is a lot of fun. Man, I don't know. I'm gonna say mech in there. I'm gonna say mech.
I'm kind of thinking that's turning to everybody's, like little by little.
Yeah,
like,
it's getting a following.
Oh yeah.
That's what I'll say. I like the Tiki's Field and stuff. Like, and I can't rag on my own league because X-Ball. Like X-Ball is the most competitive format. I definitely agree with. But like fun wise, like the 10-man stuff's fun. I mean, just playing like Rec Ball, just Rec Ball with your friends is a great time. Like I play Scenario still. I was at the Wayne's World Scenario in Ocala and stuff. Like that kind of stuff's fun. Like the Rec Ball stuff, that's a good time.
Oh yeah. What's one paintball event you wish you could have played that you didn't get the chance to play?
I mean, I don't even think. I mean, definitely don't. I mean, I don't think I wasn't even close to having a chance to do it. But like Huntington Beach would have been the one.
Yeah,
I mean, that's
I think
just
so.
nice. Like just to see it on the beach and just see the sand mixed with the turf and just see that whole shit show.
Yeah, definitely.
That'd be cool.
Favorite gun of all time?
Ooh, paintball gun, favorite gun. I'll go back. I don't know. One of my favorite way back was I guess it was the first Ego, like the 05 Ego when that came out. I remember I had like a throwback story. I had like a shocker at the time, just like the NXT shocker. I remember it went down one point and it like felt like the Matrix. I was like, I need a gun. I looked to the sidelines. I slid my gun. He slid me. My buddy slid me his 05 Ego. I just popped the top and just ripped it for the first time. I was like, I got to get one of these. And
that
I ended up
awesome.
doing a swap, and I got the 05 Ego. It was a sweet gun.
That's badass. Oh, this is me. Sorry.
I was gonna say.
I was like, where am I at here? What's the best paintball film?
Ooh, best paintball film? I'm not one of the dudes that goes back and watches a bunch of the old ones, but I definitely love. I mean, the Dirter stuff, the Monkey with a Gun, like. Probably my favorite stuff was probably like the Trauma Head stuff. I like seeing
Trauma Head sports.
Yeah, right. But they got the cool stuff. Like I think I watched one a week or two ago. They're still posting some. They filmed it all, then recapped it, and did the announcer voiceover stuff afterwards. So I like that. I'll go with Trauma Head.
I like it.
Hard or soft?
For what?
That's what you get, dude.
Rock hard.
Rock hard.
Right there.
There we go. Normally I say that one. I normally preface it by going, "This is Wes's first favorite question on the list." But so who is the best player currently?
Best player currently? I'll say I don't know. Keith Brown. Keith Brown's the man. He's the man. I've seen a lot of his stuff. Like he had a lot of the cool Millennium stuff. I was like 2 years ago, just pulling off like just sick 1-on-1s, 1-on-2s, 1-on-3s, even more. Like he's a bad man especially when he's like real focused.
Yeah,
when he's all in.
I like it.
Final question: what is the first thing you notice about the opposite sex?
The first thing I notice? Their beautiful eyes. They have great eyes.
There you go.
Yeah. There you go.
You and Reese both, I believe.
Yeah,
I am pretty sure. I don't remember. I need to write down some of these people's.
So we can go back and review them.
Yeah. Oh, that's fun. Well, I think that's all I had, Wes.
Yep, that's it, man.
Alex, was there anything else you want to say? I know you touched on your Premier League, and we talked about Tiki's, we talked about MVPS, we covered anything, but if there's anything else you want to talk about, got a good chance.
I think that's it, man. I had a lot of fun. So it was my first podcast. I had a lot of fun talking to you guys. That was cool.
It's good.
Enjoyed it.
Probably definitely have to have you back on because I'm sure there's lots more paintball up in your head. But
Oh yeah. I see everybody already bugging you on the MVPS page, and I have to ask. I'll get grilled if I don't ask. When are we looking like time frame for a schedule?
All right. So schedule. I'll say I'm still waiting on the NXL. I'm really the two leagues I go off of are. Like the ICPL and the NXL because they both have, events in my area. So I got to pay attention to them. And then I try not to step on the MSXL's toes because we share staff and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But I'll say my first event is planning for like I usually do, it's the first or second week of February in there.
Okay.
It sucks because it's I want to say the first weekend of February is Super Bowl weekend, so I don't want to do it then, especially because it's in Tampa. And the weekend before that is the Pro Bowl, and that's in Orlando. So both two big local events.
Yeah.
And then the third week or the second weekend of February is Valentine's Day, so I'm trying to avoid that too for those ladies out there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, look at you.
And
this is how much goes into planning, guys.
It's a lot. There's a lot.
Oh yeah.
Try to look at all the dates, but I'd probably lean in towards Super Bowl Sunday because I figure people can play paintball and still go home, watch it, enjoy it.
Yeah.
So, but it's not set in stone. Still waiting on the NXL because the NXL. I'll give you a little scoop that they're planning on their first event in Florida, which I think a lot of people might know that already, but it's
we all kind of
nothing
heard.
set in stone.
I heard somebody mention multiple events in Florida.
And that could happen. I mean, same thing as same thing. Like I'll probably do a lot of events at Austin Tyndall this year, just because it's a easy location, and a lot of the other counties just don't want to touch paintball, or they don't want to touch anything because of COVID. So Florida's just a safe spot. I could see NXL doing something like that.
Yeah, and that's I think the main reason.
Yeah, be interesting.
Awesome.
If you want to throw us a bone, don't forget to come back up to Jacksonville. It's only like an hour and a half ride for us. So
trust me, I do. Jacksonville is one of the other safe spots because it's at an actual paintball field, so I can kind of get in there. So, and me and Zach are good friends. So there is if I definitely do anything North Florida, it's 100% gonna be at his field. And Panama City area looked cool. I know the MILP did one there before, and that's cool. But really, Panama City is out there too.
It is.
Way west.
I think it's like 6.5 for us, I think.
Yeah, right. Because for Florida, it's North Florida, but it is just way out west. It stretches out to the Panhandle. But if I do anything up north, definitely Jacksonville for sure.
Cool.
All right, guys, I will take us out of this thing. As always, thanks for listening, watching, whatever you do. I don't know why people buy T-shirts, but people buy fucking T-shirts still. So keep buying them because it helps me and Wes here a little bit. It helps cover the cost of the podcast. And we will see you guys on the next one. Thanks for listening.
Later, boys.